Well, guys, as if you needed another reason to think the FBI is just a corrupt and broken institution. Breaking news this week, right? Former now, but was current at the time, former FBI agent who investigated the Trump-Russia collusion, remember Russia, was arrested for, wait for it, colluding with Russia. I mean, think about this for a second, right? I understand, the sort of rules for radicals. The Democrat playbook is always accuse others of doing the things that you're doing yourself. That's Saul Alinsky. That's as old as time. That's what they do. We've seen it, right? We saw it with the document scandal. We've seen it with the FBI. We've seen it with all of the disasters. But think about this. An FBI agent that worked on the Russia collusion hoax was charged on Monday with illegally working to get a Russian oligarch, Oleg Deripaska, off the U.S. sanctions list. The FBI official, Charles Maganiel, was paid around $50,000 by Deripaska to get U.S. sanctions listed off of him, okay? So he's a former FBI official that was on the Russia collusion investigation. So when they lied, remember, they took Hillary Clinton campaign information, gave it to the FBI, who seemingly leaked it to the press, who then printed an article about it, that article was used by the FBI as the evidence to start this investigation that, by the way, cost the American taxpayers about $50 million, years of time, tried slowing my father's progress and his presidency down. Think of all the things that he accomplished in that time, but think of the cloud of BS and nonsense that he was under this whole time. So remember, in 2019, the Trump administration lifted some sanctions on some of the companies that used to be owned by Deripaska. He got rid of them. They didn't need to be sanctioned anymore because the Russian oligarch was no longer officially tied to them. And congressmen and the FBI, oh my God, he's being lax on these oligarchs. It was all a lie. And yet, they knew about it. Clearly, this name was on the horizon. They made a big deal of it, and Congress people got on MSNBC and talked about it ad nauseum. This was Trump-Russia collusion, yada, yada, yada. The guy doing the investigation for the FBI at around these times, who was familiar with all of these things, literally just got arrested for colluding with Russia. Okay, so just remember that, folks, when they're accusing you. At this point, how do you trust these clowns? How can anyone trust the FBI? And I know, based on everything that they've failed at and done disaster in, domestic terrorism for moms who are concerned about their children in school, I get it. But they do the, how dare you criticize us? Like, honestly, folks, how dare you not? If you're not criticizing them, if you're not calling out this nonsense, you're actually part of the problem. And I hate to say that, but that's the reality of the situation, because these institutions are corrupted, they're broken, and it's disgusting, and it needs to stop. So call it out. Of course, I'm sure the media will cover this one up, sweep it under the rug. Don't allow them to do it.